I don't think I've ever been this angry before when it comes to politics. I don't think ever. For those of you who may not have seen, Tucker Carlson last night released some of the footage that his team discovered in the January 6th, whatever you want to call it, the night that Joe Biden was certified to be the president of the United States of America. And the footage was damning. First, we saw the Sean Anon or whatever the hell they were calling it. I called him Buffalo Bill. Had the bison horns or whatever the heck they were calling it, who essentially became the face of the whole January 6th insurrection, even though the not even the FBI declared it an insurrection. But that's what the media and the Democrats and all those lying sacks of crap go with. It's ridiculous. Yeah, he was. It looked like a tour, except you had a weird bison Buffalo Bill looking kind of guy. Even being as close as not, I think it was 9 officers around him, and leading him around, trying to open doors for him. There was no violence. Once they got inside the Capitol, there was no violence. It was a bunch of looky-loos. Whenever they stray off, a Capitol police officer would point them in the right direction, which wasn't out the door. It was back with the group. And they just walked right on through, and there was no violence, no chaos, nothing to indicate that there was any kind of rioting. The only violence that I saw from those tapes was maybe 10 people when they broke the windows and the doors. Other than that, there was none. You even saw we even saw um the guy, the QAnon, whatever the hell they're calling him, say a prayer for Capitol Police. That's not insurrection like. That's not angrily taking over the government like. So what the hell was actually going on that day? What in the hell led to January 6th? There wasn't hate, there wasn't malice. It was just peaceful protesting. As soon as they got in the building, the footage, Nancy Pelosi kept hidden away for 2 years. And this whole mess went from bad to worse. Now, let me take you back to that day on how my day was. So, I was kind of getting the updates. I was working at that time in a factory, so wasn't getting too much detail. Just that hell was going down in DC. And I remember being so embarrassed that the someone who affiliates with the same party as I would carry out such heinous acts. And then as I got home and days went by and information was coming out, I began to realize we weren't getting told the whole story. Well, I knew we weren't getting told the whole story. I just wasn't sure what story actually happened. And I found it very, very odd that the Democrat Speaker of the House, the head of Congress, essentially, was holding on to those tapes awfully tight. And only certain footage was being released, all the violent, angry looking ones from outside and in very small clips of less than 10 seconds. And so I began to question, but there just wasn't too much to go on. And I also found it weird that the FBI didn't declare this thing a insurrection, and which was especially odd since we now know the FBI is as corrupt as the Bidens. But nonetheless, then I think this was already known, but the officer that they claimed was killed that day, his name escapes me at this current point in time, but he uh, he was alive and well 2 hours after he was supposedly murdered, directing traffic into the Capitol building. So there's that. He, and I believe that one was bookmarked. So the January 6th committee definitely knew they were lying. And I'll get to those bastards in a minute. And there was a Ray Eaps or something like that, who was the star witness to the January 6th committee. And he lied, said he left at around noon. He was still there at about 2:45. So there's that. Oh, and text message saying I orchestrated the whole thing. The whole thing. So, and as far as the January 6th committee, every single person on that committee should be charged with treason. Every single prosecutor who went ahead and prosecuted people involved in January 6th should lose their license and should be charged with crimes. This is what an attack on America from within looks like. This is what an abundance of government power looks like. And really I don't want to say abundance, but a power trip sort of thing, a drastic overreach. This is a major, major cover up. And everybody from the January 6th, Nancy Pelosi, to the prosecutors that prosecuted the January 6th cases, all of them should be locked away and thrown away the key. From Liz Cheney, Kissinger, Schiff, and any case that involves Donald Trump as in regards to January 6th better be thrown out by the time well, obviously it'll be Tuesday morning ish by the time you watch this. But by the time I wake up, those any sort of charges on Donald Trump on January 6th better be dropped. Because this is an absolute miscarriage of justice. And with all of those lies that the January 6th committee knowingly committed, I have to question the investigation on the death of Ashley Babbitt. With the people saying that she was a violent criminal, and going in and breaking stuff, I now believe that is a full blown lie. I didn't believe the original story anyway, but now I'm sure of it. If you're gonna lie a little, you might as well lie a lot. And the and I fully believe Ashley Babbitt was pegged off by a trigger happy nutcase of a Capitol police officer who may have went off script, may not, I don't know. But I'd like to see that damn script. And what in the world the game plan was. And as far as I'm concerned with what I've seen, this was a setup against, at the time, the sitting president of the United States to make him look horrible and set him up for another impeachment to try to get him to where he is ineligible to ever run again. This this one's personal. No Democrat can ever be trusted ever again. And given everything that's happened and what we all know, we have to start looking not only back to the 2020 election and better be triple checking those goddamn voter rolls and checking to make sure every single ballot casted was a legal one. From Michigan to Wisconsin to Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona. Because now I don't trust it. That's just the reality. When I have been blatantly lied to as badly as this, yeah, I wouldn't trust you even if you told me the sky was blue. I'd have to walk outside and double check. I would all we also have to go back and make sure that every single vote casted was counted properly and made sure that they were legitimate votes in Arizona in the 2022 governor's race. And we'll do the Senate race just for good measure. Because at this point, the lying from the Democratic Party knows no bounds. Absolutely none. And we better check Pennsylvania too. And Georgia, for that matter, the Senate races as well. Because, like I said, I now have reasonable doubt. That's all I was looking for in the in the election scams. Now, I had plenty of reasonable doubt in the Arizona governor race because it was a close loss. There was a lot of hokery happening in Maricopa County. So I had plenty of reasonable doubt. I think Cherry Lake won that, legitimately won that race. But, Katie Hobbs, that cartel comes in clutch, don't they? Kate. But the this is Pandora's box that has been opened by the Democrats and the January 6th committee, blatantly lying to the American people and blatantly painting a false picture of what happened on January 6th. And as far as I'm concerned, as I said, this may have been an absolute setup by the FBI and or by Democrats. Someone who wanted to make Trump look bad and succeeded until now. But Tucker, obviously, he'll be on tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern time. I will definitely be tuning in to figure out what in the world is going on. And I will be coming. I'm going to try to make a second video for today. but we'll see what happens. But hopefully you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you've seen it, comment down below what was the most damning part about the January 6th uh, tape releasing on Tucker Carlson last night. So we'll see you in the next one.